Okay, guys, welcome back to another Live Wire. This is the second Live Wire for this week. And on this program, you might have seen Oklahoma Community Watch in our chat, dropping some little hints that he had an update. So this is an update Live Wire. About a year ago, I think it was in March of 2022, we had Chewy Cavazos. Am I pronouncing that right, sir?
Cavazos.
Cavazos. We had Chewy Cavazos come in from Oklahoma Community Watch to talk about a video that he shot of himself and some protesters at the Tulsa County Courthouse getting into an altercation with some police and also some federal officers. Guns were drawn. It was a very scary video. If you want to, if you're like you haven't seen our first Live Wire, you might want to check that out. The link is in the description here. There's also a link to Oklahoma Community Watch's YouTube channel. Go check out their channel. It's pretty awesome. So today's Live Wire is going to be about what's the status of the protesters now. They were charged. They've gone through the legal system. And Chewy's been covering the whole thing and gone along for the ride. So without further ado, thank you for being on the program, sir. And give us give us an update on where we're at with everything.
Okay, well, Inch for inviting me.
Stongo.
I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a ride, brother. It's been a ride. So far, we already have gone through the brothers, the activists that have been arrested. One took a plea deal. The other two continued on with the federal charges.
Oh, and just not to interrupt you, but let's name everybody. Jacob Wind, Sandy Williams.
Yes.
And then who was the third? I can't remember the...
Tim, I don't remember his last name either.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to pull that up. I think we covered it in when we talked. So check out our link to our previous Live Wire. But go ahead with what you're saying, sir.
Yeah. Well, we finally made it to federal court last week, and actually, we got the verdict almost a year to the day of the incident, and it's good news for the two. That when we went to court, because they were looking at felony assault charges, federal felony assault charges, which you could face up to 10 years in the federal prison, $250,000 in fines, and 3 years on probation. But we were able to show without a reasonable doubt that the officer was the aggressor and everything was justifiable in our actions that day.
Yeah.
The charges were dropped down to a misdemeanor, which is a 1% chance of felonies ever being dropped in federal court.
Yeah, that's amazing that you guys were able to do that. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the video that you shot was instrumental in having that was that shown in court as evidence?
Yes, sir, it was. And then also their videos that they had, which had a different view, that had an overview of the incident.
Oh, I see. Wow.
Which even their video assisted us, and good reputation, our good lawyers out there. We won. We got them down to misdemeanors, which is you're still looking at no more than 6 months and up to $5,000 in fines and about a year probation.
Right.
On paper.
Right.
So that's a blessing, but we're not done. Mr. Williams, I call him Red Bear. We still got tribal court. He's looking at the charges too. I want everybody to remember that the fight's not over yet.
Yeah, I thought that those. I had seen that those charges got dropped. Is that not the case? There's still charges pending on him there?
As last as I saw, it was as last night. I believe he was still looking at tribal charges, not unless something has happened within the last 48 hours that I haven't been aware of. So
okay, well, and we're going to keep an eye on that too. Are you going to continue your coverage on that?
I'm going to continue being there. I'm going to be there to fight the fight with the brothers.
Awesome. Well,
fight there for all of us.
So, and for the audience that maybe is just tuning into this, like, I encourage you to go check out our previous live wire. But this is a pretty terrifying video, with the officers drawing weapons on unarmed protesters. So it's good to see that the rule of law in this particular situation, was in the realm of sanity. It wasn't because I know we had our discussion last year about this. That was just kind of how crazy that situation was, and how it kind of like got accelerated by the other side out of nowhere. So we should tell the audience too, what is Oklahoma Community Watch? What's the purpose of your channel?
All right, well, my YouTube channel, I created it prior to getting very involved with the American Indian movement. But my channel basically is to hold public officials accountable in their actions, but also whatever happens in my community. If I'm driving around and I see something unique that might be, that no one else might see, I'll record it, try to get a story. I don't just do law enforcement, cop watching, stuff like that. Whatever powwows, I film powwows, entertainment, just like it says, Oklahoma Community Watch. I just watch what's within my community.
Yeah, and let's also mention to the audience too, your AIM affiliation and how you work with AIM.
Well, I'm actually I'm in charge for media for the American Indian Movement, Indian Territory. One thing I like to tell people is I belong to a chapter called AIM Indian Territory, but doesn't mean just because I belong to one chapter doesn't make you AIM.
Right.
AIM comes within our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to belong to a chapter. These patches don't make me AIM. It's what's in my heart. So
right.
I like to tell people, just because I'm with a group of family that we stand together doesn't mean that they're not AIM either. If it's in their heart, they're AIM too.
Yeah, and that affiliation, does that ever result in like maybe Native American people coming to you and saying, "Hey, I'm having a problem. Can you help me here? Or can you document this that's happening to me?"
Yeah. Yes, I have had that happen. Unfortunately, last year we had a brother go missing,
mm-hmm.
and the family reached out to me because the regular media wasn't really reaching, doing anything.
Right.
So they reached out to me, and I went out. Unfortunately, we had a sad ending, but we're blessed that we were able to locate the brother.
Yeah.
So, but people do that all the time. I even have non-Native Americans approach me, and like I tell them, I'm for the people, we the people.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
For my indigenous brothers and sisters, but I look at everybody as as one.
Yeah. So, I guess my next question would be, let me remind the audience, if you're watching this, you have any questions about the judgment, the verdict on the activists in federal court, or for Oklahoma Community Watch, just pop them into the chat and we'll get them read. What's next on your list of stuff for Oklahoma Community Watch? Do you have any type of events planned? Are you going to do any specific coverage? There any issues that you're...
Yeah, actually, we got quite a bit. We got a lot of stuff we got going on. We also still have... I'm waiting on getting the transcripts and the body cam footage of the incident so we could do another complete story.
Mm-hmm.
On both sides. I'm trying to be transparent. And
right.
But with the American Indian movement, we're constantly got things going. Things are just changing, all the time, and we're busy. So, I've been so concerned right now with this incident. So I've been just focusing on that. But if they get on our Facebook page, they could follow us on Facebook. And I think we also have Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So, keep up with us. And, I also got a new channel, if you don't mind me plugging it.
No, go for it.
It's AIM Indian Territory News Network. Because I want to try to start promoting more of the American Indian movement stuff,
Right.
possibly some education rights, you know, and
Well,
things
that's
like
not.
that. That I feel that our people could be assistance. You know,
How long has that channel been up?
well, I had that as a backup channel for Oklahoma Community Watch,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't really doing much to it. And one day I decided I was praying to the Creator, and I just go what comes through my heart, and I go from there.
All right. Well, go check that channel out, guys. I don't have a link for it in the description, but I'll hunt it up later on, and I'll try to get that posted in the description of this video. Again, if you guys have any questions, I'm not seeing any questions pop up, so I'm going to ask some of my own questions. So, with the charges, so all of the or are all of the protesters, have they gone through the federal system and everything, and they've gotten their judgments passed on them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and you were saying there's still tribal court to be heard
For Red Bear.
on Red Bear. Okay. So, but in tribal court, is he facing felony charges there, or is it just misdemeanor
I
charges?
believe also it was to my knowledge, it was felony.
Just a duplicate
like,
of the other
yeah,
charges?
pretty much a duplicate with the change of wording.
I see.
I think that's how they got it. You know, a lot of us might look at it as a double jeopardy,
Yeah, yeah. I think that.
but they use wording to be able to get away with what they're doing.
Yeah.
And my personal opinion, I think that's what has happened. But you know, we don't know what's going on yet. It's not over.
Right.
Let's hope that tribal courts see his judgment in the federal court
Yes.
and decide to just drop all charges.
Well, and as we saw with the federal court system, going into the situation, it was looking pretty bleak because you guys, they were looking at these felony charges, which is I'm pretty sure is prison time off of those charges. And I know you, and I'll tell the audience too, you interviewed one of the lawyers right after the court, and you can kind of see in his reaction to the situation that it was a big win to get these charges downgraded to just misdemeanors when you were looking at felonies. So I think there's still, maybe we should have more hope. We should have hope in this situation because, things went so well as at the federal court, and granted,
Right.
the best outcome would have been total exoneration of no charges. But at the same time, the having the felony charges dropped was a big win just in and of itself.
It's a win, but in situations like this, no one's really the winner.
Right.
Because we still have attorney fees, losing work, travel, the inconveniences.
Yeah.
So no matter if we still win in one sense, but still the system still kind of wins because we're in a loss.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Financial gain
and
stuff. But
yeah, the original protest, I believe, is a Leonard Peltier protest. That's correct?
well, yeah, we call it more like a gathering. And,
Okay.
We don't, but yeah, it was for Leonard Peltier. The false imprisonments that he's been in there, and we're still fighting for his
Yeah.
his freedom.
Mm-hmm. And that's something that battle's been going on for decades. So.
And I'll fight that battle with them side by side till my dying breath, man.
So we're getting close. I don't see any questions here. So is there anything about what's happened that we haven't talked about that you think is important to mention?
Yeah, it was like in the trial. It seems like law enforcement was trying to make us look like the bad guys, like we were the instigators.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily I was there with my camera. They had their cameras, and we were able to prove without a reasonable doubt that our actions were constitutional and legal.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I don't wish this on nobody, even to be a witness.
Yeah.
I want to thank the lawyers, the jurors out there. I was there I've been following this for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Being there at the trial those 2 days, Well, it took a lot out of me, and it takes, if it took a lot out of me, could you imagine what it took to the family,
Yeah.
to wet there, and it just, it's hard.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't see it that way until it happens to us.
Yeah. Well, and I want to give you kudos over it though. You don't seem discouraged. You seem like you're
No, it actually gave me
galvanized.
more of a fight.
Yeah.
It put a little fire under me more.
Let's see here. There's a question that's popped up. I'm not for sure whether it's for me or it's for you, but I'm going to ask it of you. Clyde Griffin says, "What kind of equipment are you using?"
Oh, I use my phone. I also use a GoPro. I have a body cam, and I use a little Canon camera. But I have usually when I'm out filming, I usually have 3 to 4 cameras on me,
I see.
and I'm working on a 360.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds great. And then for me, in our studio here, we have our main shot is a Lumix GH4. We have a couple other Canon C100s, and then we do all of our switching with a NewTek TriCaster. So, and then we have these. I don't even know what brand these are. We have these microphones, so pretty standard stuff. It's actually all pretty old, It needs to be updated, but so if you have any other let's see, how much gas did you burn working on this case?
Oh boy, more than enough.
Well, you were driving back and forth from where? From
I live in Kate County,
okay.
Ponca City.
Wow.
So that's a 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
Also.
Jeez.
But I did go stay over there, so you're looking at motel, food.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I don't look at it as an expense. Everything comes out of my pocket. I don't get donations or none of that.
Right.
Everything comes out of my pocket.
Well, that leads. I was
day,
going to say that leads to the next question. Just popped up. It says, "How can people support your work?"
Okay, well, I haven't done it yet, but I'm changing from PayPal to that Cash App.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't added that up yet, but I'm going to be, I could look it up if you don't mind, or.
Well, so in order for
people.
people.
To my channel.
Yeah.
Go to my channel, go to the descriptions. I'll put my Cash App on there and my PayPal if they want.
Okay.
And
but basically, they get in touch with you through your channel.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do it because I do it for the people.
Right.
I consider myself a warrior for the people. So and I'm like I said before, I look at everybody. It says on our Constitution, we the people.
Right.
So that's how I look at it. But I'll stand if I feel and you show me enough evidence that you have a good cause and that you really need help, I get my mocks on the ground as soon as I could.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the program today. The work that you're doing is important work that people need to do, especially with the Native American thing, coverage that's happening, because there's just not enough of us out there covering it for the amount of things that are happening that people really need to know about. So I give you all the praise on that, and I look forward to hearing from you in the future. And I also want to tell you, just personally from me, every time I do a live stream, almost every time I see Oklahoma Community Watch come into the chat saying East Jay and everything. So it's always good to have somebody who's supporting the channel like the way that you do, sir. And it's I personally appreciate it. So, and for you guys out there,
thank you. I'm very humble.
For you guys out there
I'd
watching,
like
go ahead, sir.
I'd like to just say also real quick.
Sure.
Go support your local MMIW, chapters. Keep your eye out there. We're still got sisters and brothers and children missing. So help your local chapters if you can.
All right. Oh, we had a question pop in, and a person says, Safety Man, he says, "Sorry I am late. My question is, The Oklahoma law they passed, filming police and others still in effect. And thank you for taking my question. Love you, Oklahoma Community Watch.
Okay, I know. I don't remember the code offhand that they're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
but the code they're talking about is what it is we're not allowed when filming law enforcement, public officials. We don't have the right to dox them. Like we
I
could
see.
film it and all that, but we can't go put their personal information, where they live, where their wife works, where
Right,
stuff
right.
like that. That's where people are confused about the law on that one. And unfortunately, even law enforcement are, confused on
Right,
that ordinance. But it's, they just say that we cannot dox them. We can't put their personal information, their phone number.
right.
Now, we still have a right to regrieve against our government. So, say I'm recording a cop and he does something that one of my subscribers or someone that's watching don't like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't tell them to, but they do have the right to call and speak their mind on how they felt about the officer or whatever.
Right,
But
right.
also, if you see a law enforcement or someone doing something right, praise them for it.
Yeah, it's important to remember that it's not a monolith. There are guys out there that are trying to do the right thing. So,
Right.
um,
So,
well, I thank you again for coming in. I don't see any more questions, and we're getting close to the 30-minute mark. So, I know you kind of gave out some shout outs earlier. Is there anybody else you'd like to holler out to before we wrap?
oh well, a shout out to Mvskoke Media. Thank you for all you guys do.
Absolutely.
Mado, and a shout out to everybody. Like I said, the lawyers, everybody that's been supporting the brothers. Just keep up the fight. If you see something, film it. Film's always the best thing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I want to thank my queen for allowing me to go out and do this too.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
forget her. So,
All
and
right.
then everybody, like if you interested in the American Indian movement or have questions, we're on Facebook, American Indian Movement, Indian Territory. Come check us out. Send us a message. We're always looking for more warriors to put their boots on the ground. So,
All right. And I right before we wrap, I want to give everybody an update on the live wire for Friday, because I see Kirsten Kunkel is in the chat there. He's Jay from Ohio. We were going to have Miss Kunkel on Friday to talk about her stuff, but we had to bump it back to next week. So we're scheduled for the 23rd. So come and join us on the 23rd for the live wire, where we're going to be talking about Girardin's album getting published and a whole bunch of other stuff that's going to be happening in the musical fine arts world with Dr. Kunkel. And with that being said, thank you so much, sir, for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And you're doing some great work. You guys watching the channel, you may not think you're doing any great work right now because you're just watching a YouTube video, but you are, because you're getting exposed to stuff and maybe your mind's getting opened up and seeing what's happening in the world that isn't getting covered by mainstream media or anybody else. So with that being said, I want to tell everybody Mado, and we'll see you guys later. Chihicha, please.